Let's talk briefly about how broadcast communication changed that day. On YouTube, an extraordinary gentleman, David Von Payne, has collected the recordings of that day in a way that brings an immediacy that you could never get, even, I think, if you go through the museum. But the point is, what is your perspective on how television became the dominant force after the Kennedy assassination, and how that incident changed things so profoundly that nothing was ever the same again, I guess is the question.
It certainly elevated the status of the news anchor, Walter Cronkite,
right.
Becoming sort of the voice of the nation and the nation's grandfather, who was very protective and paternal. I mean, we have to remember the way TV news was prior to the assassination. I mean, for the most part, a lot of stations would broadcast like 15-minute news broadcasts at the end of the evening, and that was your news update for the day.
Right. They just changed a half hour 2 months before.
Right. This 24/7 news cycle was inconceivable at the time of the Kennedy assassination, but suddenly you're thrust into that exact thing. They didn't call it the 24/7 news cycle, but that's what it became because of the Kennedy assassination. And so newspapers couldn't be printed fast enough.
Right.
Radio was not providing the visuals that were so necessary to, the curve downhill towards the freeway, the sixth floor window, that all of that stuff, the detail, the visual detail that people needed wasn't coming across in radio.
Right.
So you needed that immediacy of television to provide that, and you needed those microwave trucks and those cameras and the live broadcast to really show people what was unfolding in real time, because things were happening so very rapidly.
Yeah, that's the extraordinary nature.
But the thing about Cronkite and other news anchors is, in moments of uncertainty, you need to turn to a voice that you can trust, that will tell you that everything's going to be okay. And Cronkite, in so many ways, was the glue that held the country together. And yet, he also was a reflection of us, taking off those glasses, breaking just barely when he announced President Kennedy's death. It was as if that choke of emotion was representative of the entire country at that time.
Beautiful, man.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.